Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the soft cut crease look, and it is basically the more wearable version of my KKW Mario palette look that I did. So let's get into the look. I have my beautiful friend Alex who's modeling for me today, and her skin is already moisturized, so I'm just going to go in with primer, and I'm using the Laura Mercier foundation primer in Radiance. So I'm just going to be putting that all over her skin. It's going to give her a very nice glow, and I'm actually not going to be using foundation today. I'm just going to be going in with concealers. And to hydrate her lips, I'm going to be using the MAC lip conditioner. This is one of my favorite lip balms. I really like it. I like using it on myself too because it smells like the classic MAC lipstick smell. And I love it. So good. For concealer, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I've been using this a lot lately. I've been testing it out and I really like it. I'm going to be using two colors. One is light beige and the other one is golden beige. So basically one is closer to her skin tone and one is more to brighten. I'm going to be going in with the Sigma P84 brush. This is my favorite brush for concealer work like this. It really buffs it into the skin and you can't see any edges, any lines. I mean, it just airbrushes the concealer on. This is a technique that I love doing. Whenever anyone asks me what's my go-to for everyday, this is it. It's just concealer where you need it in a very thin layer. You get to control the coverage and then you go in with a setting powder if you need it. And your skin breathes all day, it feels light, it looks great. To make sure nothing is heavy all around the skin, I'm going to be going in with the damp beauty blender and just tapping it in areas where I don't really need that coverage, just in case. I want to blend a bit more under the eyes and maybe put a bit more concealer if I need it. To give her skin some warmth and kind of contour, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks in the shade Suede. The best way to describe this color is that it's a yellow brown, and I use this to add warmth, so this is basically my bronzer shade. I'm going to be blending everything with a Real Techniques contour brush, and if there are any stubborn areas, I'm going to be using a beauty blender just to diffuse the edges, but I like to do all my blending work with brushes. To set everything and brighten and bake, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Pound Cake. I've been using this powder ever since I got it. I talked about it in my last video as well, and I really do like it. It does add that brightness factor without any shimmer, and it is very lightweight. I'm going a bit heavy-handed here for the purpose of the video, but for everyday you can go in with much less. Depends on your skin type. For brows, I'm going to be using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in number 6 as usual, and I'm going to be thickening her brows from the top if that makes sense, and just cleaning up any edges. And you want to brush through the brows to soften any harsh lines. For certain brows, I feel like I need to go in with a brow powder as well, just to set everything in place and give me that extra definition. And for that, I'm going in with the Dior Backstage Brow Palette in the shade Dark. And I'm going to be using that with the Dior eyebrow brush that came out. And I'm going to concentrate on just defining the brows even more with the powder. To set them in place, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows in the shade Clear, and just running it through the brows. After I'm done with brows, I'm going to dust off any bake using the Huda Beauty brush and just sweep it away. Next, I'm going to be taking my custom-made MAC palette, and these are eyeshadows that you can find. So basically this is just a palette that I made at MAC. And I'm going to be starting off with my transition shade, the one that goes in the crease, and it's Tete-A-Tint eyeshadow. I'm going to be placing that with a fluffy brush. This is the Wayne Goss number 16 brush. So just concentrate the color on the outer corners and bring it in the crease. And then I'm going to be taking the same color with my MAC 228S brush and putting it on the lower lash line. Using that same brush, I'm going to be taking the shade Ground Brown and working the shape that I want, sort of creating a wing. So I'm going to extend the wing from the lash line out, and then I'm going to bring that color in the crease as well very softly and slowly build up the shape. Keep working with the color that you already have in the brush to blend, and then go in with more color where you need more intensity, so in the wing itself. And then use that same brush that you used for the crease and diffuse everything and blend. It's all about blending, but then bringing back the color strategically, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to take my Wayne Goss number 5 brush and dipping it into the shade Goldbit, which is a shimmery champagne. It's not really that gold. And placing it on the inner corners of the eyes. Repeat the same steps on the other eye. And if you feel like you want to diffuse the shadow even more, you can use a Q-tip. That's completely fine. Then for lashes, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes Mascara, one of my favorites. Coat the lashes evenly, and then I'm going to go in with individual lashes. These are Ardell individual lashes in the style medium, or the length. And again, I want to focus the lashes on the outer corners to create that wing even more. For bronzer and highlight, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow in the light to medium shade. And I'm going to go in with the bronzer with the Wayne Goss No. 2 brush and just build up the color, using it to sort of bronze and contour at the same time. And then with the highlight, I'm using it with the Real Techniques setting brush and placing it on the high points in the face. For blush, I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in the shade First Love, which is a beautiful, like, very light nude shade, but it looks really good on the skin. Because I want the look to be all about the eyes and I want everything quite toned down. And I'm just using that with the same Wayne Goss brush that I used for bronzer. For lip liner, I'm taking the Marc Jacobs lip pencil in the shade Primrose and lining her lips and filling them in. This liner is very nice and really creamy. I've never used Marc Jacobs lip liners before. I've used his eyeliners and I love them. So I wasn't surprised that this was going to be really, really creamy. And even that color alone is great, but I'm going to add more definition and depth to it. So I'm taking the MAC Pro Lip Palette in the style, why do I keep saying style? In the shade 6 Modern Browns. Not even the shade, it's the palette. The color I'm going to use is Peachstock, which is an actual lipstick at MAC. You can buy the full size, but these are basically their existing lipsticks melted into a palette. And I'm going to take the shade Taupe to blend the edges between the lip liner and the lipstick I just put, which is sort of closer to the lip liner that I used, just so you have that very nice even blend. I'm going to be dipping back into the highlight shade in the Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette using a Dior eyeshadow shader brush in the number 21. And just intensifying that shimmer on the inner corners. Then for extra shine, I'm going to be using my finger and just popping that color on the center of the lid. And that is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm working on more videos and I can't wait to share with you so many different models to come, many different skin tones, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment, like the video, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!